That's Nick.
And that's Joseph. And today we're here to talk about Don't Look at the Demon, the third film directed by Brando Lee, which is being distributed courtesy of Outsider Pictures, October 7th, 2022. Notably, it is considered the first Malaysian film to be released in the US, even though it is shot entirely in English and focuses on white people.
There's so much about this movie I did not like. The director?
Brando Lee.
You said it's a directorial debut?
No, I said it was his third film.
Oh.
After two films I haven't seen, Chow Kit from 2012, I believe, and Gangster Wars in 2013. So in the ensuing decade, I don't know what has been learned, but here we are.
This shit was ridiculous. The story, the characterizations, it feels like a cheesy soap opera.
This is soap opera horror, to be sure. I think the initial attraction was that it stars Harris Dickinson and is opening on the same day as Triangle of Sadness, so you could have a Dickinson double feature.
As much as I like Triangle of Sadness, I dislike this movie even more.
And is not deserving of the enigmatic title, to be sure.
I don't even know what I think the title means after watching the movie.
I don't either, but I don't want to look at this movie.
Oh, and then the story, it's like so derivative, but then it has a sort of twist at the very end that confused the hell out of me. Mm-hmm. Okay. What's the lady's name?
Jules is the character, played by Fiona Dourif, daughter of Brad.
Okay. The story is about some paranormal investigators who have a TV show. And they have gone to Malaysia to shoot some content. And Jules is kind of like the leader. We have the host, this guy, and then two brothers, one of whom is Harris Dickinson. They're like the AV people.
Ben and Wolf.
Okay, so the subject they have chosen...
Because... Jules can apparently tell from...
Well, we need to get into that in further detail, so let's just tell the basic story. They choose a couple who is not Malaysian. They look like maybe they're British or...
Martha and Ian, played by William Miller and Malin.
How are you going to say it's the first Malaysian film it distributed in the U.S., but then it doesn't, the main subject is not Malaysian?
I know. Well, Malaysia is notoriously conservative. Did you remember Zoolander? Where the plot is to assassinate the Prime Minister of Malaysia.
Oh, no.
And then the Malaysians banned that movie.
Anyway, these paranormal investigators go visit their subject. It's a couple, a man and a woman, and they are having symptoms of being possessed. So this crew goes and they witness that, yes, the lady of the house is possessed. We find out that apparently, in Malaysian lore, there used to be witch doctors who would take stillborn fetuses,
desiccated fetuses,
and then turn them into their minions. Mm-hmm. Okay, so
it's called kuman thong, and we're told that practice was outlawed eventually.
Yeah, thank goodness. Yeah. Although that idea is interesting, but not in this movie. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we find out the spirit that's in the house was this man who would kill pregnant women and take their babies to then do nefarious things with these fetuses. So these souls are in unrest in this home, and then this evil man spirit is in the house too. So, oh my God, just how everything is approached is so arbitrary. Mm-hmm. But they decide that in order to eradicate the spirit from the house, they need to find the body of one of these murdered mothers, and then take a fetus that was in a wall, which we also need to talk about.
I think it's a bunch of fetuses. It looked like they're in a little nest.
And then bury them together. And then that seems to work. The spirit's gone. But of course, in the 11th hour, there's a twist because Jules, we find out, maybe 2/3 of the way through the film, she shares with the possessed woman that she stopped conjuring spirits. I had to write this shit down, but she stopped... She tells a story of how when she was younger with her sister, the sister was killed by an evil spirit, and that we find out that it was a spirit that they conjured together, like Ouija board style. But then we find out that... So then the Jules says, I will never conjure another spirit. But in the end, we find out that the spirit was in Jules. So Jules, as a young lady, girl, with her own hands killed her sister. Which is so stupid to me because how did the mom think the daughter died? Like did the police really think that an evil... We need to talk about it. So then the happy ending that we saw where the spirit is eradicated and everyone in the house is happy is really a lie because we find out that Jules is like now possessed, but not with the evil spirit in the house. So I guess that old spirit from 30 years ago, and she has killed everyone in the house. The end. This was so hard to sit through.
Yes.
It just, oh my God. I don't even know where to begin. The opening scene was somewhat promising because we see like this Malaysian monk like tattooing something on a woman's back. Mm-hmm. And then she's having like a very violent reaction and then she like spits up nails.
Let it look like they've been marinated in egg drop soup.
And then we're told like she was like cursed and that's why the nails came out. But I can't even tell you what the worst part of the movie is, but I knew this movie was going to be some bullshit because the lady playing Jules,
Fiona Dourif. Mm-hmm.
Man,
I mean, yeah, it's not good.
She looks disheveled and she's doing like a thing.
It's like you're either a hipster or you're a recovering addict. Well,
I was told that she's been in something else I've seen.
She's been in a couple of. I think she's related to the Chucky series because of her dad somewhere.
But I don't know. I'm not saying that she can't act. I just think that the approach of this character just is so laughable, so ridiculous. Then, after the monk scene, you already alluded to this. We see them in the other thing is the film is kind of shot like a documentary stuff.
Cinema verite.
I really don't like how it's shot because it almost feels like handheld camera, like found footage type stuff. But it's not. Where they're all in the car, deciding because they get so many applications for people who want their help, and then I guess they're filming like Jules' process. And this lady decides on who they're going to help by taking an iPad and closing her eyes and just flipping through the pages.
Nope, fakers, nope.
Oh my God, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. Even the green... I think the special effects are a little crunchy, but especially when they're in that SUV driving around, it really looks like...
And then some of the special effects aren't terrible, but, every time Martha has a possession scene, I mean, I'm cackling.
It's laughable. I would say it's so bad that it maybe is worth a watch, because you'll just be, howling at the screen. Okay, again, the writing, because I'm confused. The way these people make it sound is for them to have so many submissions, one would think that they're notable, but then they're acting like they're kind of desperate for work. Mm-hmm. And then Dickinson and his brother, those two characters, they're acting like they're very unprofessional around all this paranormal shit. Mm-hmm. So then it's is this their first time? But then later in the film, we hear them talking and it's oh, you've seen this kind of stuff before. So it's the writing makes it so unclear, how these people connect to one another and their knowledge of what they're getting themselves into.
Just with Jules' past too, I was never going to, what did she say, raise another spirit again. It's well, then why are you working in this business? That's like saying my mother died in a terrible car accident, but now I'm a chauffeur.
Right.
But why?
Okay, then the first time we see the lady of the house who's haunted or possessed, have a real supernatural experience, she's lifted into the air and then she's her head is being banged against the wall. I mean, again, we were laughing.
She's always screaming, "Why can't you not see?" Okay,
then there's a moment, because then Jules gets very upset. Because we find out that, yeah, we do all this paranormal shit for TV, but it's all, they've never actually, discovered anything. They're just good at making things seem creepy, all these paranormal activity shows. But this is the first time they've actually seen something. So she's freaked out, and we see Jules go to a bar. And there's this lovely Lamasian. I think I was thinking Pepper LaBeija.
The house of LaBeija.
And I'm thinking Pepper LaBeija because we just saw Black Pepper on Drag Race. This lovely Malaysian man working as the bartender is talking to Jules in the bar and explaining to her the backstory of a lot of things.
This house
and the occupants of the house. And then all of a sudden it turns to this man shaking her, what are you doing in here? And we see that that entire time she was just sitting in like an empty closed down bar, and she's trespassing
with desiccated cobwebs,
which made me think of The Shining.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, this movie doesn't deserve to be compared to The Shining, but then as we're watching it, and I'm just so like annoyed and unsatisfied with this movie, it made me think that can you think of like a possession movie that has sort of like an erotic vibe to it?
The Entity, where Barbara Hershey's raped by the
No,
ghost.
but not like that's comical. I mean, I feel like
that had some creepy moments.
Yeah, but like I feel like someone could. All these you know why I wrote that down? Because it all feels the same. It's always the same.
Ghost with Whoopi and Demi and...
No. I'm saying like an erotic sort of thriller about a possession that's like serious and sexy, and because all these possession movies, it's always like the one being possessed saying very vulgar sexual things.
Oh, yes, like...
I mean, don't say the actual words.
Here's Dickinson saying like, he's going to rape her soul.
But yeah, like what about something that is actually like very sexual and...
I guess in the netherworlds, there's
I'll have
no
to
such
come
thing
up.
as titillation and what's the word I'm looking for? Subtlety.
I'll have to come up with a story for that. But I didn't mention with this crew, they have this Malaysian woman sort of like assisting.
I think that's her name is Annie Thao Nu Pan.
She's integral to the plot. But on top of all the other nonsense going on, she ends up having an affair with like the host of the show, who's married to Jules.
Matty, Jordan Belfi, yeah.
It just is like, okay, one more thing to like dilute all this craziness.
Yes, and all the men look like they were lifted out of something like The Young and the Restless or General Hospital.
Yeah, these guys are too handsome. Then Jules catches her husband kissing this lady, and he's trying to explain to her like, well, she kissed me first and blah, blah, blah. And he tells her like, do you know how hard it is to love someone like you? I just thought this dialogue is caca. It really is.
I mean, is she not getting you paychecks? I don't know. Like...
Then another sort of twist is, because the opening of the film is, there's like text explaining to us about the phrase you said.
Kuman thong.
About the stillborn babies being turned into minions or whatever. And then for the rest of the movie, up until like the 2/3 point, nothing about babies, nothing, like we don't know anything about it. And then all of a sudden, the lady who's possessed, she tells Jules, oh, I'm pregnant. Like, okay. Then we find out there's like a secret room in the house.
Oh, the walls in this house are...
made out of paper mache.
And some character even says the line about that. But it's pretty...
And then we get a scene where like they go into the room and then the spirit like attacks some of the occupants. But... the Malaysian lady's integral because she has a tattoo on her back that's supposed to ward off the spirit. Mm-hmm. So that's what helps. But in the process, Dickinson becomes possessed.
It's like an MMR vaccine.
And then for the rest of the movie, we see Dickinson. What's his name?
Ben.
But the actor's name?
Harris Dickinson.
We see him shirtless and possessed, looking crazy as hell.
Astrophysicist.
And then that's when the monk shows up.
Yes, per Jules' request to go get her backup. Mm-hmm.
And I thought the monk was funny because he says this line more than once. Mm-hmm. He goes, there is no evil. There is only ignorance.
Ignorance.
Or ignorance. Ignorance. Yeah. Say it again.
Ignorance.
Ignorance.
It's very interesting pronunciation.
I can't even say it right, so now I look stupid. Oh gosh. Then Harris Dickinson's character beats up his brother or attacks his brother, and then the brother's missing teeth. Mm-hmm. And it looks like they just took Sharpies to 3 of his teeth. It looks so ridiculous. I thought probably the creepiest moment is once it's all revealed about like the pregnancy thing and this evil spirit, we do get a scene with the man, like the spirit man, mm-hmm. showing what he used to do back in the day. Mm-hmm. And we see that he would get these pregnant women and like bite open their bellies, like rip open the belly to take out the baby. That was pretty, I mean, you don't see that every day.
No.
So, I mean, there's that. Okay. When it's like, we don't know what to do, how can we like solve this problem? All of a sudden, Jules has this idea where she looks at the old footage and she's telling them like, rewind, go forward, rewind. And in every movie that does this, there's always this little detail that no one noticed. But the detail Jules finds is when that lady was banging her head against the wall, she left a huge bloody spot. And Jules goes, you see that? You see that right there? Yeah, that big ass bloody spot we all saw her make. We have to go dig there. And then they go dig in this wall and find the fetuses.
O negative marks the spot.
How dumb was that?
Pretty dumb. Like everything else in this movie.
She was really acting like that was like hidden.
Yes, that she discovered that. Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. What did you think the title meant? I don't know what I don't know what the movie should have been called, but not this.
Well, other than like don't go searching for it, I don't know. It's just, again, it's not deserving of this title because it means nothing to whatever is happening or not happening in this film.
The weirdest thing about it is having Harris Dickinson in this movie open the same day as another movie he's in where the quality and the writing is like leaps and bounds better. It, like, as an actor, it must be so weird. And I'm assuming he filmed this
probably a long time ago.
A long time ago. But yeah, like as an actor, the experience of the two.
You know, because he's not talking about that. Nobody's marketing this film.
I would only recommend it like with people and alcohol, and just be prepared to like make fun of it. Yeah.
I'm surprised that it's getting any kind of a release at all.
Why did you make me watch it?
How I was harassed to watch it.
Oh. Well. Sorry to these people. Mm-hmm. What else you got?
That's it. There's nothing else to say about this.
What would you give it?
A 0.5.
This is a 0.5 kind of movie. Anything else? Okay. No. Hit the thanks button. Listen to our podcast. Bye.